Diplomatic negotiations involving the United States and Iran continued in Switzerland this week, despite rising tensions and public statements that threatened to derail the process. The talks, which were facilitated by mediators from Pakistan and Qatar, focused on implementing the recently announced Memorandum of Understanding between Washington and Tehran. The negotiations are viewed as a critical step toward reducing tensions in the region and preventing a return to direct military confrontation. However, the diplomatic process faced challenges almost immediately. In the days leading up to the talks, President Donald Trump made several public statements directed at Iran, including warnings regarding regional security issues and ongoing disputes involving Lebanon and the Strait of Hormuz. Those remarks reportedly triggered concerns within the Iranian delegation, which temporarily suspended discussions and lodged formal complaints with the mediators overseeing the negotiations. Diplomatic sources indicated that officials from Pakistan and Qatar worked intensively behind the scenes to keep both sides engaged and prevent the talks from collapsing. Following those efforts, Iranian representatives returned to the negotiating table, and discussions resumed. Analysts say Iran entered the negotiations with a clear set of objectives. One major priority was securing progress on sanctions relief. For decades, Iran has faced extensive economic sanctions affecting its banking system, energy exports, and international trade relationships. As part of the Memorandum of Understanding, discussions have focused on technical procedures needed to implement sanctions waivers and facilitate commercial activity. Iranian officials also emphasized the importance of restoring oil exports. Since portions of the agreement took effect, Iranian oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz have reportedly increased significantly. Economic observers note that expanded energy exports could provide substantial financial benefits to Iran if the agreement continues to move forward. Another major issue during the talks involved regional security concerns, particularly the ongoing conflict in Lebanon. Iran has maintained that progress on broader diplomatic issues depends on reducing military tensions in the region and ensuring compliance with ceasefire-related commitments. Meanwhile, the American delegation was led by Vice President J.D. Vance, alongside senior advisors and negotiators. Observers noted that the talks represented one of the most significant diplomatic tests of Vance's international role to date. Images and reports from the negotiations attracted considerable attention online, with commentators closely analyzing interactions between the delegations and the overall atmosphere surrounding the meetings. Diplomatic experts say symbolism often plays an important role in high-level negotiations, especially when both sides are attempting to project confidence to domestic and international audiences. Regional governments also became increasingly involved in supporting the diplomatic process. Officials from Egypt, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan met separately to discuss regional stability and encourage continued negotiations. The gathering highlighted growing interest among Middle Eastern nations in preventing another major conflict and maintaining stability throughout the region. At the conclusion of the latest round of talks, mediators announced several areas of progress. According to a joint statement, both sides agreed to continue technical discussions over the coming weeks, establish additional communication channels, and pursue mechanisms aimed at protecting commercial shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz. The statement also outlined plans for further diplomatic engagement on regional security issues, including developments in Lebanon. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described the negotiations as productive and pointed to progress on sanctions-related issues and economic cooperation. While significant disagreements remain, negotiators expressed cautious optimism that additional talks could build on the momentum created in Switzerland. Political analysts caution that major obstacles still exist. The success of the agreement will ultimately depend on whether both sides fulfill their commitments and maintain diplomatic engagement during a period of continued regional uncertainty. For now, however, the negotiations remain active, and mediators are working to ensure that diplomatic channels stay open. The coming weeks will likely determine whether these discussions lead to a lasting agreement or become another chapter in the long and complicated relationship between the United States and Iran. You're listening to our International Affairs Bulletin. Stay tuned for more political, economic, and global news updates throughout the day.